Hello, everybody. How are you? I got some gloss on here. Hello, hello. I just got back from vacation, and so I had my whole computer off and everything. And of course, when you log back in, everything wants to literally you have to log back into everything, and it doesn't want to work. So let's make sure that everything is a-okay right now. If you guys can hear me, can you guys just say hello out there? Let me know where you are joining us from. I'm so happy to have all of you here for the live Q&A for the this or that Makealong for 2024. So happy. Okay, don't have any questions, just an observation. Yeah, obviously I can't see you without my glasses on. Let me see here. Hello. So it looks like you guys are all saying hello, so this is good. So let me see here. Don't really have a question, just an observation, LOL. Anyone whom is working on the Sander PDA, do you feel like it's bigger than it should be? When I check, it's right on target with my swatch. Well, you're actually literally the first person to say it feels like it's bigger. I've had so many people leave me a comment. They're like, I feel like this back is too small. Like this is just too short. This is not enough. Like, what is going on? So I find that interesting. I don't know. Everything matches up on my sample to my swatch and the measurements and stuff. So I don't know. Anybody else feel that way? Like all of the input I've gotten back from the PDA is that it feels like it's super short. But I don't know about you guys. It's 7:30 where I am, so I literally poured myself some wine. I was having some wine with John upstairs. I was like, I gotta go downstairs. I have to do a live. So I am having some wine as I talk to you guys. Let's see here. Let's see here. What is going on? Craig says he's having some wine too. Craig, once again, why don't you just come up here and have some wine with us? Literally, guys, Craig lives down the street. He's just down the street, which is awesome because it's nice to have another knitter in the neighborhood. He doesn't crochet yet. He's a knitter, so we'll see. Let's see here. It's so cute. I have no complaints on length. My daughter loves it so far. Well, that's great. I hope she does. I don't know if you guys saw my reel I did on Instagram, but while I was in the Olympic Forest, National Forest over the weekend. And while I was there, I took a project that I've been working on for since I shouldn't say I've been working on it. It's been on the needles since last November. And so I finally got the length done and the ribbing done, and it's a crop top. And so I tried it on in the video, and I think it's super cute. Do I have it down here? I think I must have put it. It must be in the other area. Is it over here? Where the heck? Guys, everything is a disaster here. It must be in my other area. I'll show you. But it's super cute. I'm excited about that too. Because it's just a style that I think is really popular right now. And I think it'll be just great. Heather, thank you. Thank you for saying that. You know, it's funny because this hairstyle, it's one that if I had hair, this is how I would wear my hair. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, I used to spend, in the morning, I would put my hair in hot rollers. And I mean, I had really long, really curly hair. And then I would pull it up and I would twist it so that the top of the hot rolled parts would come out, and I'd have like a clip back here to have it all come up. That's how I used to wear my hair. So when my hair started falling out and getting really thin, I started wearing wigs, and I have a variety of different wigs. And this is actually a wig itself. You guys want to see? So you can see here, ta-da! It has clips. Isn't that cool? Like there's my hair. There's my hair. And so it just goes on. You clip it in. Ta-da! You're all done. So you too could have this hair. I got it from a company called Wiggy, Wiggy, I think, .com. I'm pretty sure that's it. But it is so fabulous in the way it doesn't overheat. Some of my other wigs, even though they're lace front and they're very open, they're still very, very warm, but this is a great thing for me. So I wear these a lot. I have several different, I have ones that are like this, that clip in. I have ones that are like a rubber band or like a scrunchie, and you scrunch them in and you wear your hair. So it's a lot of fun things. So thank you. Yes, it's very quick And it just works really great because the mixed colors, like that's my hair is that color. So thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And the more you know now, right? It's a lot of fun. So let's see here. Anybody else? Everybody's like, woohoo, wine. The wine, yes, the wine is very good. It's a barrel aged wine. It's called Josh. It's not super expensive. I think it was like $21 for the bottle. It's very good though. We like it. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon, whatever. I think it's good. Mindy, you know what? Thank you for saying that. I will be completely honest and tell you that hair loss it's really tragic. To the ego and to the psyche. Like my hair is very incredibly thin. And so it's just one of those things, like not a lot of people talk about it and you don't know what to do. And you feel ashamed to have to wear a wig or order a wig. And then when you find out how many people in the world wear wigs, nobody's hair is their own anymore. Everybody has extensions. People wear wigs, people wear lace fronts, people wear toppers, people wear whatever you want to call this. Like there's so many things out there. And I feel like if we're more open about it, just like how, we're more open about menopause now than we ever used to be, or ADHD or autism and all of these things. I feel like the more we talk about it, the more it's like, okay, you don't have to be ashamed of it, right? Because like I have been struggling with hair loss for 20 years. And it's a hereditary thing for me. It just runs in my family. So it's a crazy thing. So I feel like the more I'm able to be real about it, and I mean, like you guys said, how many of you knew? Like, because it looks really natural, right? And like sometimes you'll see that I'll wear it instead of back, I wear it up a little bit more, so it's a little bit more on top of my head. I don't know, you could do all sorts of things, but it's a lot of fun. So anyways, yeah. All right. Sue says, I've never made a sweater before. How do I start? Sue, if you've never made a sweater, I would start with actually a very simple stockinette sweater personally. I did a sweater pattern. Gosh, how many years ago was it, guys? 4 or 5, 6 years ago, called the My First Sweater. That is made in pieces, which I think is very important. I know a lot of people will say, oh, do a top down. It's real easy. You can work in the round. You can try it on, do all these things. I'm very much old school in the sense that I think that your first sweater should be something in pieces that you can put together and you can understand the mechanics of actual shaping of pieces. That's the way I feel. Plus having the structural integrity of the seams actually really helps with sweaters. So I would start off with the My First Sweater pattern. That's what I would do. Let's see here. Brat's mom. I lost my hair during chemo. It's a very humbling experience. I have hair now, but no eyebrows. It is a very humbling experience. And it's one you don't realize, guys, honestly, you don't realize how important your hair is as far as thickness and the way it looks and how much it affects. Like if you have a bad hair day, how much it affects your whole mood and attitude. But when you're wearing a wig, like every day is a good hair day. Like Dolly Parton has been wise beyond her years for years because she just puts on her hair and everything looks good. It looks just so good. Yes, the big comfy sweater is a good one too. Somebody says that. Marley, I am the wig queen and I look good. Do you? Thank you, Rhea. Thank you so much. I wigs. I love them. I have some that are red and it's longer and like has some curls. I have so many. I just love it. I am crocheting the Bellini. I started late, wanting the yarn to be delivered. I'm having trouble with row 12. It seems very awkward or backwards. All right, so let's pull up row 12. I have my pieces here. The Bellini row 12. Let me see here. Row 12. Is row 12 where we have to start a new yarn? What row is it, guys, that we have to start? Hold on. No? Chain 1, single crochet in the third loop of each half double crochet across and turn. Then you do a stacked, and then row 14 is where you join the yarn. Did you watch the video of us doing the gauge swatch with row 12? Row 12 should be just like row 2. Did you happen to watch that video? Let's see, that's Nana's a nerd. I'm gonna wait for you to get back to me. There is a delay, so I want to make sure. I'm just going to keep kind of scrolling through comments here as we're going along here. Miriam, hi Marley. My favorite from Josh is the Pinot Noir. That's awesome. My husband has recently really gotten into cabs, so we drink a lot of cabs. Not a lot. I don't mean we have a lot, but that's what he tends to buy. And I like it. It's the Reserve bourbon barrel aged wine. It's good. I like it. Karen, I can understand that. Karen says she's not a fan of putting pieces together. She's not a great hand sewer. I can totally understand that. And that's absolutely valid. There's a lot of people who are like that. I just know that as somebody who needs a lot of fabric to cover my body, having the structure of the seams really helps. Now, that's not to say that if I did a top down, there are things I can do to make sure that I have some structure to my piece. I can add grosgrain ribbon to like the seams of my faux seams of my shoulder or around my neckline or along my button band or things like that. Like there are cheats. I don't even know if I call them cheats, but things you could do to really help give your top-down sweater some structure when things are starting to get really big and heavy. So there's a lot of things you could do that. Okay, I'm just finishing the square crochet blanket, and I'm not playing. It's not laying flat at the edges. Is it tension? It could be like if it's rippling at the edges or pulling in at the edges, you could have too many stitches. That's what happens if it starts to ripple. If it's pulling in, you have too few stitches. So is it tension? Yes and no. It's actually more along the lines of you either have too many or too few stitches along the row. So you need to figure out how many stitches per inch. Like if you're doing single crochets, how many single crochets makes it lay flat per inch? And then for every inch on your piece, make sure you only have that many single crochets. Does that make sense? Karen, thanks. I didn't know. I just know my husband had told me that he really liked it. So when I was at the grocery store today, picking up some cinnamon sticks to put on my new pumpkin. I made a new pumpkin, y'all. So I needed to get cinnamon sticks. I was like, I'm going to get him some wine. So that's what I did. Let's see. Yvette, hello, my friend. She made the My First Sweater on YouTube and it's excellent. Thank you for saying that, my friend. You're so great. Stacy Marley joining a few minutes late. That's all right. You're more than welcome to join us here. Karen says, I really want to make the standard PDA, but putting pieces together is making me hesitate. I can understand that. The hard part there is making having the way the yarn overs and such lay. It works best, I think, when it's in pieces. And I mean, I can understand that, but it is the nature of this piece. It is definitely, you have to sew, but it's not hard. You just take your time with it and you can do that. Nana says that she watched the video. Let's see here. She also says it's on the opposite side from row 2. It just seems awkward to me. It should be on the same side. Hold on. I'm looking at the chart. Row 2 begins the same side as row 12. So I wonder if you got off somewhere along the way. Because row 2 and row 12 are on the same side. They both begin on the same side. Row 2 and row 12 are both on the same side. So somehow I think you got off a little bit. No, Craig, we have not opened it up yet. We were saving it. We were saving it, but he's very excited about that. So Craig came over to borrow some blocking supplies, you guys, because he just made his very first stranded knit baby sweater. And so he needed to do some blocking on it. And he brought us some wine as a thank you, which was very nice. Let's see here. Megan, I grew up having super thick hair, 1 to 2 inch pony. And now due to meds and stress, it is much less. And I have a hard time with it being less, but everyone says it still looks thick. Megan, I understand that. I could show you guys. I wish I had a picture really quickly on hand. I don't think I do. I don't think I saved it. of me in my high school years of my hair. Like, it was so thick, you guys. It was so thick. If I can find it, I will show you. My mom recently took a picture of it and sent it to me, or took a picture of a picture and sent it to me to be like, hey, remember when your hair was like this? I was like, thanks, Mom. Thanks so much, Mom. Let's see here. See all. You guys are going to be like, I can't believe that's your hair. All right. I'm going to show you. Let's see if I can show you here. Can you see that? That's my senior year of high school. So I would put it in hot rollers and you would see it like that, like super thick. And then I'd pull it back and twist it so that the curls were up on top of my head just like this. But look how thick my hair was. That's my senior year of high school. Crazy, right? Like, I had so much hair. Yeah, that's that. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me to think back, but I understand. So Megan, if you're interested, if you ever want to ask any questions about wigs and stuff, like I like these a lot. I think they have helped work with me they worked for me very well. But there are other things out there if you just want to try them out. There's nothing wrong in trying them out, and they're not that much money. All right, let's see here. Deborah, she says, I found squishy yarn in my stash that works well for the knit along. So I'm trying not to feel behind, but I finished the first Holy Repeat. Lots of fun. This one is. Thank you, Deborah. You're not behind. Like, I'm still working on let's see, I've worked on the front and I've started the sleeves, and now I'm working on the back. And I was like, okay, I got to stop. I got to work on the back and start the sleeves. Because if you guys remember, I'm working on a sample of the V-neck version, which I will publish after I make the sample. You guys are making the crew neck. I'm making the V-neck, but it's the same sweater. It's just a different neckline. So I'm working on that as the same size. So you are not behind at all. If your husband likes calves, I like Malbec. I like Malbecs. They are good. I agree with you. You're welcome. Dawn says, I like your pumpkin. Thank you. I am very excited about it. I filmed myself, doing little bits of it today, trying to put together enough for a reel. This yarn is great. I visited Hirschner's probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, you guys, and this yarn is like so fun. It's just like they have a whole bunch of different Halloween colors, but it's called Halloween Sparkle. And I was like, you know what? It sounds like it would, or that looks like it'd make a really good pumpkin. So I decided I would just crochet myself up a pumpkin today. So that's what I did. I might have jumped off the deep end with the Bellini being my first sweater. We'll have to go back and try the suggested projects. Tabitha, Bellini, it's really not so bad. If you can chain, single crochet, half double crochet, you can do this. Like, there's no shaping to it with the exception of the neckline. So it's really a good sweater to start with. And it's definitely a little bit more intense than a super basic sweater, but I think you could absolutely do it. Yes, Yvette lives in Philly too. Christina, I guess you do too. Let's see here. I'm a bit behind on the standard PDA because of all the times I had to frog back. I'm trying to catch up now. Those lifelines will save your butt. I'm telling you, lifelines for sure. Mattress stitch is fun. It's like a magic trick. I agree with you. And did you know that you could do mattress stitch in crochet also? And the stitches come and it looks really cool. So it's a fun technique to do. The worksheets have been very helpful. Thank you for those. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I love having the worksheets. And when I asked my tech editor to put those together for me, she was like, absolutely. And I think she does such a great job. So I love that. I think they're incredibly helpful. Let's see. In the Bellini sweater, is there a knitted pattern? In the Bellini sweater, is there a knitted? So is there a knit pattern like the Bellini? No. So we just have the Bellini and then we have the PDA. Tabitha says, I love the pumpkin. That's so great. I am 2 knit-alongs behind. Well, you better try and catch up. We have first fall coming. Oh gosh, guys, we have so many things coming up. We have first fall coming up. I have the Joanne Stitch Along, which I get to, I think, tease about it in 2 weeks. And it's a fun pattern. It uses the new Bernat Fluffy yarn, which surprisingly enough, you guys, I really enjoyed knitting with it a lot. And the samples for the Joanne Knit Along, like I have them. I've worn them several times. I think they're just great. So I'm hoping you guys like that. And then we have Turkey Trot coming up. Like Turkey Trot is right around the corner. So we have Turkey Trot coming up. And the other good thing that we're working on right now, we're working on putting together the next By Crafty Bestie Box, Volume 2. And this one is going to be a project that you will actually do in January. So the Bestie Box is going to be mailed out just in time for everybody to put it, under their trees or give it away for Hanukkah or whatever it may be. So we will mail those out just in time for the holidays. So that way it could be a holiday gift that you could open up, but the actual make-along of the next Bestie Box will be in January. So it's like a twofold sort of Bestie Box, but we do not have a lot of them. Like we are limited. It's a limited quantity. So we'll be announcing that very soon as well. So we're working on that. So I'm very excited. I was just talking to Lindsay about that today, trying to get everything put together before we go to DFW next week, because all 3 of us are going to be at DFW next week. Robin and I are teaching classes together. We each have one class that we teach individually, and then the rest of the classes we're teaching together the whole time we're there. So I'm very excited. DJ 408, we will give out the information as soon as everything is put together. I will tell you that the first Bestie Box purchasers will get a chance to buy it first, and then we'll open it up to the public. But that I will let you know. The best way is we will email everybody. So if you're not part of the newsletter, you definitely should be part of that, because that is the number one way that we send that out to everybody. Absolutely. Not sure. Just take Steele's money. Lonnie, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I hope you guys like it. I mean, I like it. I'm excited about it. And it's a project that I think a lot of you, whether you've made this item before or you haven't, I think it'll be a project that is the perfect project for January, for like a make it for you January project. So it's not super big. It's very doable, and I think you'll really like it. All right, I'm scrolling up to see if I missed any questions on here. I'm getting back up where everybody's saying hi. You guys don't have a whole lot of questions on here tonight. Any other questions? I'm going to let you type in. Let's see here. All right, Caitlin. It's a very good question. Are you still planning on doing the sweater course in the Birdhouse this year? So, Caitlin, we do have a sweater course that we have, Robin and I have talked about doing for first fall. And we would put that inside the Birdhouse. What's happening right now, though, is if you guys you might not know this. So Robin moved, she moved houses at the start of August. And that made her whole life turn topsy-turvy. So she moved houses, and in the process of moving houses, she has to prepare her old house to sell. And then her kids went back to school, and then she got COVID. So it's been a really difficult, probably 4 to 6 weeks for Robin. So as much as I want to say yes, I have to kind of sit back a little bit and wait for her to kind of get back in the groove of things, because she has been away from the computer, away from the business since the beginning of August. So I need to make sure she has enough time to make a sweater up. My sweater is done. And that's not a brag. That's just, I happen to get lucky and have the pattern ready to go for Cheryl to make it. And so my sweater is done for first fall. But I need to find out from her, from Robin, if she's ready for the first fall. Miriam, what is the Bestie Box? So it's not really a box, it's a bag. But it just the alliteration of it, the Buy Crafty Bestie Box. So we did the Buy Crafty Bestie Box Volume 1 earlier. Let's see, we did it over the Olympics. So over the Olympics, we had the Makealong. That's where we made the Anne slip stitch knit shawl and the Chrissy crochet motif shawl. And so both of those are now available for purchase. Both of those individual patterns, you could purchase those. Let's see, I'm going to go let's see if I could grab a link for those for you while we're here. But so we made shawls. And so what it was, people purchased the yarn. I can just show you right now. So this was the bag and the mini doodad bag. And then there was yarn in here to make a shawl. Okay, so this was the Buy Crafty Bestie bag for Volume 1. This was one of them. The other one, can I reach it? This was the other bag with the yarn in it that we did. So these were $195, each one of them. And they also got a course that I'm doing. So mine is Shawl Shape Concepts with Mosaic Crochet. It's fabulous, I think. So I hope they love it too. And then they get Shape Architecture, I think it is what it's called, from Robin. But like I said, Robin it's been a little bit rough. So hers is coming out. We hope that it'll be out by the end of the month. That's our goal. So we got all of that for that Bestie Box. For this one, I can't spoil it too much of what all is going to be in it, but it will be yarn. And it will be a bag that goes with the yarn. So yarn in a bag. And then you will get either the knitting pattern or the crochet pattern. And then you'll have an option to upgrade to the other, like you could upgrade and get both patterns. Like you have an option to do that. And then of course there's some other items in there beyond just the bag, but I don't want to spoil any of that. But that's what that will be. If that makes sense. Let me see. I'm trying to get to the links, you guys, to give you all the links that you need. Okay, so I'm just going to give you the link to why can't I copy this? Let me copy it. Copy and paste. Okay, that should be the Anne shawl link I just put in there. And let me see if I can get the Chrissy. Here it is. Copy. And this is the Chrissy shawl pattern link. So if you want either of those, they're both available on Etsy. So I just put them both in there. But both of those are now available. Let's see, did that answer your question, Miriam? Christina, yes, we are doing a game day, and I am talking to Hirschner's about partnering up with them to put together a kit for people so that you could actually get the whole kit for game day if you wanted to. It would not be a mandatory, but we're making that as an option. So we're talking to Hirschner's about possibly doing that. So we'll see. Let's see here. Score the lip so tarted. There were a couple. I don't know what that means. Oh, here we go. Before the live started, there were a couple of questions. Wow, what a difference those two things. Okay, I'll scroll all the way back and see. Let's see here. Sue says, how can I get in touch with you about a secret project from Super Bowl Sunday 2023? I'm almost finished, but I'm having trouble with the last portion. Sue, honestly, the best thing to do when you're talking about the game day 2023, what was game day 2023? What did we make? What did we make for game day, guys? Isn't that crazy that I can't remember what we made for game day. Anyways, oh, that's going to bug the crap out of me. I don't know what we made for game day. Oh, we made the cowl. So the best thing to do, honestly, is if you're part of the Facebook group, go in there and ask the questions. There's a lot of people in the Facebook group that made it, so it's possible they can jump in and answer. You could also ask our customer support team, which is contact@marleybird.com. contact@marleybird.com, and we could try and give you help. But honestly, the Facebook group is the best place to ask for help if that helps you out here. Let's see here. Are you part of the next Penny Read Kickstarter? Yes, I am. I don't know if you guys saw on there was an add-on that you could do for a Winston Brothers mystery make-along for fall 2026. That's me, everybody. So I am putting together a Cletus and Jen mystery make-along that we will do in fall of 2026. And so you would be purchasing the VIP experience for that. And we will use the yarn that's also part of the upgrade in there that you are able to purchase. We'll be using that for the event. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about that. Woo! I'm finally done making my soup. Now I can watch. Lindsay, welcome. Don't burn your tongue. Make sure you blow on it. Vicky says, hello, I made it. You're welcome. Will there be color choices in the new box? There will be 3 colorways. So there will be 3 colorway options for you to purchase. You could purchase 1, you could purchase all 3. But that's where we are. I think, do not quote me on this, you guys. I think the final price of the box was $95 or $97. I can't remember, one of the two, but that's where we got it down to with the yarn, the course, not the course, the make-along, VIP experience, and then the bag and the extras. I think that's where we got it to, but don't quote me on that. That's what I think. Will it be a View bag? No, it will not. It will not be a View bag this time. Those are those. Made both by Crafty Shawls, and they were so incredibly awesome to make. Caitlin, that's so great. I'm so glad you like them. I've had tons of compliments on them. Actually, the picture that I took of me in one where I'm holding it like this and it drapes around here, my husband made that his wallpaper on his phone, and it was like, wow, that's so cool. Lindsay Hirschner's has been around for 120 years or something like that. They started out as a catalog mail order yarn. And so they sell a bunch of different yarns there, but they're fantastic. You should check them out. Like I said, I'm talking to them a lot more lately. Hopefully we'll be able to do some work together, and I'll be able to tell you more about their yarns in the future. I do hope so. Caitlin, jewelry was 2020. Oh, that was 2023 was jewelry. 2024 was the cowls. Okay, 2023 was jewelry. I loved the jewelry. I wore the jewelry actually this weekend. Yeah, you guys are totally talking about jewelry was 2023. The cowls were 2024. The hat was 2020, 2022, 2021. Gosh, I'm telling you. It just, they all kind of come together all the time. Yes, that answers my questions. Wow, that's beautiful. Great. That's awesome. The cowl was for this year. Yep, you guys are all confirming all the projects. Okay. Yeah, that. Girl, can I tell you, when I designed these and I made sure, because I worked with my tech editor to make sure all the sizing was where I wanted it to be, because I was telling her, I was like, listen, when we put this together, we can't put it just average sizes, whatever. I said, I want these to fit me. I have big calves. I have big thighs. Let's look up its sizes and make sure that we're doing this correctly. Make sure we're doing ribbing so that way it can help expand and contract, as we need to be. And as I was designing it, I thought of you. I literally thought of you as part of all of it. So Yvette says, I want to make the thigh-high socks and the Sandra PDA sweater. Is it better to buy it from the Birdhouse package you have or buy each pattern separately? So if you just want those two, just buy those two. Because the thigh-high socks, that doesn't have a video to them. The Sandra has videos. Thigh-high sock doesn't have videos. But if you like anything else inside the By Crafty Stitch Night, then I would get By Crafty Stitch Night. And you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. For 24 hours, I'm gonna do this right here as we're live here. For 24 hours, I will make By Crafty Stitch Night 50% off. so that if you guys wanted to go get Buy Crafty Stitch Night at 50% off, you can. So hold on. And what it is you'll buy it from Etsy. And when you get it from Etsy, you'll see that there's a PDF download that tells you how to access it in the Marley Birdhouse. So it will be in your Marley Birdhouse. Okay, Yvette, hopefully that'll answer your question. Don't go anywhere, guys. Let's see if I can do this. I haven't been able to sign into Etsy all day. Let's see if it will let me. It's not letting me do it here. Let me see if I can do it on my phone. Talk amongst yourselves. Because for whatever reason, I have to log into Etsy from Facebook on the computer, and it's telling me that it's not talking. Like it won't let me log in. So I'm going to try and do it from my phone. Let me see if I can get the 50% off coupon. And I'm only going to do it for 24 hours, you guys. So hold on. Sales and discounts. Run a sale. Percentage off. 50%. Valid is everywhere. Duration is right now until tomorrow. So, oops. I put it to the 11th. So the 9th to the 11th. Live sale. Oh, I have to have that one word. Okay. Continue. You know what? I'm going to do everything. I'm going to put everything in my store at 50% off because that's the easiest way for me to do it here on my phone. So review. So discount 50% off from September 9th to September 11th in my whole shop. Create. Confirm to create. Okay. Everything in my Etsy store is 50% off right now until the 11th. Everything in the store. You don't need a coupon code. So if you go to my Etsy store, let me give you guys the link. Hold on a second. Let me give you the link because Etsy is there's a whole thing with Etsy, y'all. But I have to do affiliate links to my own Etsy store. Okay, there's the link. Let me put it in the chat, or not the chat, but the actual video description. Let's see, Etsy store 50% off until September. Oh, it's September 11th. I didn't even think about that, guys. September 11th, 2024. No code needed. And there's the link. And I'll hit save. Save changes. It is live. It is live right now. Why is it not doing that? All right, let's try this. I'll come over here and do it over here to make sure it's all done. So you guys don't need a code. Just go into my Etsy store and you get 50% off everything. So to answer your question there, with the Buy Crafty Stitch Night at 50% off, Yvette, if there's even one other thing in there that you think you'd like, it's better to buy Buy Crafty Stitch Night at 50% off. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, now I can come back and actually talk to everybody. All right, let me see here. Okay. Whew. All right, so it's 50% off until September 11th. Okay, let me go back up here. All this at once. Okay, let's see here. Birdhouse. Was there an email on the Penny Reed Kickstarter? I'm interested. Crystal Smith, I think they sent out an email to the previous Kickstarters. I'm not sure. Crystal, the best thing to do is if you are not part of Penny Reed's group on Facebook, that's a really great place. Let's see, they're the Sharks. I know that sounds funny. Sharks of Awesome. Let me get the copy. You can join her Facebook group. Let's see. Penny Reed Facebook. And when it goes live, when the Kickstarter goes live, we'll send out an email as well. So I will be sending out an email, but if you're interested at all in Penny Reed stuff, make sure you go check it out. And it's for the Winston brothers. If y'all haven't read the Winston brothers, oh my gosh, they are awesome. I love the Winston Brothers series so very much. Like, I love the Winston Brothers series more than I love the Knitting in the City series. Like, I love the Winston Brothers. So when I had a chance to talk to Penny about my idea for a mystery make-along, you know, based off of Cletus and Jen, she was all for it and just like, yeah. And I was like, I told her I wanted her to be a part of some of the things, and she said, absolutely. So I'm very excited about that. But it is far away. It's fall of 2026, but it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. So I'm very excited about that. And it will be in the Marley Birdhouse. And if you do not participate in the Kickstarter, eventually we will put that out for everybody to purchase in fall of 2026, but it will be more money than what you purchase it inside of Kickstarter, I think. Is that what we agreed upon? Something like that. I don't know. But the Kickstarter is the way to go. You get more with the Birdhouse. You do get a ton with the Birdhouse. I hope you guys love the Birdhouse, and I know that y'all tell me you love it and you sing its praises, and I'm just so grateful because I work so hard. Like the shawl shaped concepts with mosaic colorwork that I just put together. Man, you guys, there's so much information. I've already have, I think it's 28 videos in that course, and it's not done. Like, I still have more videos to put in there because it's a drips. We have some more stuff coming out for the different shapes, but it is so chock full of content. It's amazing, if I say so myself. Okay, let's see here. Crystal says, I started the Winston Brothers books. They are so fun and cute. I absolutely agree. Who's your favorite Winston? I love Billy Winston. I love Billy Winston. I love Cletus. Love Billy Winston. They're just fantastic. Mindy says, yeah, that be honest. You want them all. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Okay. What's the crochet versus knitting count on By Crafty? On By Crafty Stitch Night? Because it was based off of the Knitting in the City books, there are more knitting than crochet. There are 8 knitting, 3 crochet. And the 3 crochet, it's a skull cap, a baby sweater with 2 versions. So you could count that as 2, but it's a baby sweater with 2 versions. And then baby booties. So there's only 3 crochet, but there's 8 knitting. So it's much more of a knitting oriented content because they're based off the Knitting in the City books. And each of the items that I designed are based off the different characters. Like, we have Janie's crocheted sweaters. It's the Desmond Sullivan crochet sweater because that's her son. And Janie's a crocheter. So we did crochet sweater and the crochet booties. And then we did Elizabeth, a super simple shawlette, which is so fun to make. You make the edging first, and then you fill in the middle part with short rows, garter stitch short rows, super easy. No wraps and turns, no German short rows. You just turn your work and go. Like, it's super easy. Because to me, that's something that she would make because she's a nurse. She's always on the go. She doesn't want to like have to think too hard as she's working on the stuff because she's already had a full day. Like, that's why I designed that for her. And then the Sandra PDA, to me, the Sandra PDA sweater is totally something Sandra would make. Like, she would make it, she'd wear it, she'd feel confident in it, and it's amazing, right? And then we have after Sandra is Ashley. So Ashley had the fingerless mitts. So they're cabled fingerless mitts that I totally could see her like being in the mountains of Tennessee with the Winston Brothers and stuff and wearing her fingerless mitts to stay warm. And then kind of Ashley is the dual because her husband is Drew. And so Drew's pattern is really the Appalachian cozy thigh-high socks, which are made for Ashley to wear while she's sitting around reading and Drew's writing poetry about her in the cabin. So that's Drew's pattern. So then we have Marie. So Marie, if you read the book, she's a really intelligent, in very intense sort of knitter, loves cashmere, loves green, loves expensive yarn. And so to me, I chose to do this Celtic cable pattern for the cowl for Marie. Honest to God, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done because I grafted it together, and you have to graft it together to where you're doing knits and purls. So that way the grafting into the cables look like they're seamless. I filmed myself doing the whole thing. So that way you guys can see, like, I'm like, you're a capital K knitter when this is all done. But then you could also just do a through needle bind off if you didn't want to. But I thought that was the great representation of Marie. And then you have Kat. And in the books, Kat is an intense knitter. She loves cashmere. She loves expensive yarn. She is working on a shawl during, as she sits, is it Shiva? As her dad died. And so to me, you have Kat's shawl, which is made out of Madeline-Tosh pashmina yarn in this beautiful emerald green color. And to me, it's garter stitch and garter stitch cables. And it's this mix that she would just be sitting, and I'm not going to call it a prayer shawl, but it's sort of like in her time of just being, like, this was something that she would work on. So to me, that's what that was for. The skull cap is after he's married to Elizabeth. Nico. So Nico's skull cap, because Nico picks up crochet. So I figured he would crochet something, and he would crochet a hat. And I didn't want it to have like a big ski hat. I could totally see him like wearing a skull cap. So I did the crochet skull cap for Nico. And then Alex, because I felt like Alex, he's Marie's person, and he's somebody people love to make things, or not, he's not Marie's person. He's Sandra's person, and people love to make things for Alex. And Alex is just so accepting and loving of all the stuff. And I thought Alex would just really love socks. So you have Alex seersucker socks, which are just a generic pair of socks that are great for men and women. And this is just great project. So those are all the projects that are in by Crafty Stitch Night. All of them have videos except the skull cap, the stockings, and what else? Is that it? The skull cap and the stockings? I'm trying to blank, because I did end up doing a video for the seersucker socks because I wanted to walk people through it. There's no video for the booties. So I did videos for the sweaters, the crochet sweaters, the super simple shawl for Elizabeth, the PDA sweater, the fingerless mitts for Ashley. Oh, I forgot about Fiona. The multitask knit hat for Fiona has videos. And that one, to me, Fiona is always on the go, taking care of her kids. And so she would be knitting as she's like waiting in line at piano or at dance or at whatever, wherever she's at. So she needs a project that she could work on and put down and be able to pick back up and just start working on it again. So the multitask hat is because she's out there, she's multitasking different things, but each section is only done like 5 or 6 rows for the repeat. And so you have enough time to complete that with wherever you are, you're stopping at whatever event you're doing. And then when you go to pick it back up, you're on the next section. So that's the whole idea behind Fiona's multitask hat, which I think is really cool. Like I love the whole process. You could take one of those stitch patterns from the multitask hat and make a whole hat out of it. You can mix and match them. You can have a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's how that all goes. Did I answer that question very thoroughly? Yvette, you're welcome. You're welcome. Stacy, the thigh-high socks are fun to make. Plus, there are so many ways to customize them. Stacy made the socks, you guys. She made them. She's the one who knit them up, made them so perfectly. I got them and I was like, oh, these are amazing. So I love them. So she knows her stuff. Like they're fan, and it's not sock yarn. It's sport weight or DK weight. Like it's Hawthorne DK is what we made them out of. So that way they're bulky, comfortable, lounge around socks. I think you could absolutely do them. Christina, I love you too. I love you too. I really do. I love it when I get a chance to be on here and talk to all of you like this. So much so, I'm thinking about bringing back the Yarn Thing podcast. Don't quote me. Don't tell anybody. But I stopped doing the Yarn Thing podcast. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I just needed a break. And if you don't know what that was, it was the very first podcast on iTunes for crochet. It's a crochet and knit podcast. I used to interview people and review stuff on there. I think if I brought it back, I think I would have more of a live interaction sort of podcast with the audience, and I'd have different subjects we would talk about, maybe different yarns. So it'd be a little revamp, but I thought it would be fun to bring that back. So we'll see. So yeah, okay, sorry. Yes, 50% off everything in the Etsy store. So everything in the Etsy store. That includes the shawl ebooks as well, if you guys wanted to get a load of those. Yay, now I can get the mosaic hat and leggy frog. Go to town. The frog is adorable. Do you guys know this thing? It is the most adorable thing. Look how cute this thing. It is the cutest. I love this frog. Leapfrog. This is Leapfrog, you guys. Leap the frog. Oh my gosh, I love Leapfrog. Leapfrog is the best. Okay. Let me keep going. That escalated quickly. Yeah, we don't do things by halves here, so that was great. Aniela? Okay, girl, I was not planning to shop tonight, but now I have to. Yeah, sorry. Blame Yvette. Blame Yvette. Kathleen says, I'm glad I caught the live broadcast. I'm glad too. I'm so glad too. Mindy says, the wine has gone to her head. Yep, let's do that. Let's finish that up. Man, that is tasty stuff. Let's see here. Kathleen, yay, you have questions. Kathleen, yes, I knit. Let's see here. You knit, correct? Yes, I knit and I crochet. I'm looking for your other question. Okay. I keep hearing about twisted stitches. What does that mean? How not to have twisted stitches. Okay, Kathleen, that is a very good question. And it's one I definitely have to go to my overhead to show you. So give me just a second. I got to clear out the space here so that way I can show you that. I got to find some needles because that is something I have to actually demonstrate. And I need some yarn. I don't think that yarn. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me see. Can you guys see this color? If I bring this here. All right. Let me move all my stuff here. Everything's in the way. I got my phone. Okay, I'll move this up here. Move that out of the way. All right, so Kathleen, twisted stitches happen when you knit or purl a stitch through the non-leading leg, okay? So as you knit or purl, I'm going to say the American way is that you have the leading leg, or the front leg is the leading leg. The more European method is where the back leg is the leading leg. The same thing applies if you are a combination knitter, okay? So let me get some stitches on here and I can show you. Let me focus this a little bit. There we go. Now, right now, I'm just knitting my cast on stitches, but when I turn my work, I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay. So I'm going to turn my work. And as I turn my work, what you'll notice is this, as it's sitting on my needle, this leg right here is further ahead than this leg back here. This one is like trailing behind. So if you were to think of your fingers like this, they're kind of sitting like this on my needles, not like this. Okay. So they're sitting like this. As your stitch sits like this, where like this pointer finger is my front leg, as it sits like this, the leading leg is like, hey, I'm out here. I want to be knit. Okay. I'm out here. I want to be knit. It's usually easier to get into as well. The reason the leading leg is out there like that when I'm knitting like this, because I'm putting my yarn around my needle just like so. I'm coming out and it's mounting the stitch in that way. So when I turn my work, that leading leg is going to be forward. What usually happens is because people will purl differently, it mounts the leg differently. So I'm going to show you here. Turn my work, my leading leg is still forward. We're going to purl these stitches, okay? So when you purl, you go into the front leg just like so. You take your yarn, you're going to go over top of the needle and down, okay? Over top and down. and then pop that through and off. If you do that, that mounts that stitch in the American way. If you go into the stitch like this and you take this yarn and instead of going over the top and down, if you go underneath and up and around, you see how the difference? Here I'm coming from the outside down towards the inside. Here I'm going up the inside, going down the outside. If you do that, that mounts the stitch differently on your needle. Thus, the back leg is going to be forward and want to be knit. So this is where people would say, oh, you're putting your stitches on this way, right? You're purling just like this, which is very European, very combination knitter. They purl like this. It makes sense, right? You're like, oh, that's how you should do it. It's less work. It seems really easy to do. It's awesome, right? Well, when I turn my work, see how that back leg is ahead? Can you see how that's now more forward? That back leg is ahead of the front leg. So if I try and knit through this front leg, it's going to make the bottom half of my stitches here twist around, and it's going to look like the bottom half of my stitch. It's like they're going to look like they're crossing their legs. Okay, so I'm going to show you. When it's like this on your needle, if I knit it through the back leg, it will be perfectly fine. My legs don't twist. See how they're independent? Let me see. They're independent of each other. Nothing's twisting. Everything's great, right? Let's do that again. I'm knitting through the back leg because it's the one that's stepping forward. I knit it. Nothing's twisted. Can you see that? Like there's the legs of the stitch. Nothing's twisted. If this back leg is forward and I try and go through the front leg, not only is it more difficult to get into, but after I knit it, you see how the two legs down here are twisted? See how they're twisted over each other? Okay. If you don't want that, then it's possible you could end up with a row of stitches that are not twisted and a row of stitches that are. Or if you want that, you could purposely twist your stitches in like columns. Let me show you. I just so happen. So like right here, those are twisted stitches that are purposely twisted in a rib. Like those are purposely twisted down there because I liked that tightness. So I purposely twisted those. Okay. So if you're knitting along and the back leg is forward, that could be that you're purling differently, right? Instead of going over top of the needle, you're going the opposite way, right? All you need to do is if you knit it through the back leg, the leg that's forward, everything will lay right. You won't have any twisted stitches. Okay. Same thing applies if you're purling, you would purl through the back leg. Okay. So like here, I would purl through the back leg. See that? And that would make sure nothing's twisted and I have a purl there. See how that one stitch right there, it's twisted? Like the legs cross over each other, where these just look like regular V's. Obviously, you have the purl bump there. Kathleen, did that answer your question? I got to go find Kathleen. Thank you for showing me. I do appreciate. Not a problem. Kathleen, honestly, I'm going to tell you, if you go and watch my beginner, the My First Sweater video, I think it's in the week 2. I actually discussed this because a lot of people who are knitting their sweaters were having twisted stitches. So I went even more in depth into it. So it's a very common thing. Usually it's caused because people are purling, what they think is the easier way. So it lays the stitches differently on your needle, which if you knit your normal way, that ends up twisting the stitch. Okay. All right. Let me come back up here and find, let's see here. Can Etsy stuff go in the birdhouse? Not all Etsy stuff. So I'm in the process of putting some of my VIP experiences, my courses, or my ebooks inside of Etsy. And then what will happen is you'll download the PDF, which will tell you how to add it to your birdhouse. But as far as actual patterns, individual patterns, we are not putting those into the birdhouse. The birdhouse is exclusive for the, pattern collections, VIP experience, or workshops. Okay, so that's how that goes. Lonnie says the birdhouse is awesome. Thank you. Kalani says the birdhouse is awesome. Thank you. And DJ says, what's the birdhouse? Go to marleybirdhouse.com. marleybirdhouse.com. It's where we house all of our VIP experience make-alongs that we will do, ebook collections or pattern collections or workshops that are really intense, instructive courses with video support, pattern support. Like they're fantastic. It's my own place on the internet where I get to teach all the things I want to teach. Yes, the Buy Crafty Bootcamp, guys, it's still on my list. It's still on my list. I promise you it will be out there eventually. Camp Colorwork alone is worth the price of admission. 4 state fair ribbons this year. Lonnie, that is fantastic. Camp Colorwork is amazing for sure. And I will say Camp Colorwork, if you were to separate it from knitters and crocheter, because Camp Colorwork is both. They're both in there. If you were to take just the knitting of Camp Colorwork and just the crochet of Camp Colorwork, that's what's happening with these 2 courses that Robin and I are working on. So mine is the shawl shape concepts. I think it's so informative, so fantastic. And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger because before I put it out to the public, I want to have some sample shawls done. So that's why it's only available for the Buy Crafty besties that are in it right now. But I want to bulk it up a little bit, which will happen. The Buy Crafty besties will get all of that before I make it out to the public. So that's cool. Brat's mom says, I love the birdhouse. I love that birdhouse. That makes me happy. All right, let me keep going here. Lonnie is killing it. Julia, you're absolutely right. Teresa, I'm a beginner knitter and I found the socks surprisingly easy. They are, right. Teresa made the Alex Searsucker socks and she made them in a white color and they look really good. I'm sure it was my outstanding video support. Let's see here. Caitlin, we need a virtual stitch night. Maybe that's what the new podcast should be, is just a chit chat and a virtual stitch night once a week. Maybe that's what we need to do that. Stacy says, I would love that. So that I guess she would absolutely do that. Julia, I would buy something, but I already own everything. Well, Julia, that is fantastic news. I know that we are constantly adding more and more in there because we do have more stuff available on Ravelry than we do in Etsy right now, but we're working on that to get everything into Etsy as well. Some people were asking me recently why I started selling more things on Etsy. And honestly, it's because Etsy works with me to help with marketing of my stuff where Ravelry does not. I love Ravelry. I'm still going to sell on Ravelry, but for all of future initial launches of patterns of anything, they will all begin on Etsy, because once something becomes a bestseller on Etsy, Etsy then also directs traffic to me. So they help me with marketing. Yeah, it costs money to do that, but that's the cost of business at the end of it all. I'm trying to make sure that people see my stuff because I don't know if you've noticed, YouTube and Facebook and everywhere, like they are really picky about what they're choosing with you because of the algorithm and stuff. So it's not always certain that you're going to see what I'm working on. So that's why Etsy has become such a vital partner in my entire plan. We also, of course, have my own store, the Shopify store, where you can earn points if you buy stuff in there. So, and that's just the shop in Marley Bird, the marleybird.com shop. So yeah, but that's how that all goes. Let's see here. Cheryl Clark. I love telling any knitter or crocheter about Marley. She sees us all through our craziness. Absolutely. Absolutely do. Kathleen, you're welcome. Let's see here. I missed the yarn thing. Rita, I might be bringing it back. It's in discussion. How about that? I am having discussions about it, which if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said there's no way. There's no way I would have done it. Julia, thank you. Kathleen, right here, Julia put the link to the week 2 video that you should check out. I'm pretty sure I went all about twisted stitches in that video. It's one of the videos in that series. I did talk about twisted stitches a lot. Oh, This is funny. Teresa, no, I am still selling on Ravelry, but Etsy will be the first place I'm selling to. And then Ravelry, it usually will be 2, 3, 4 weeks after the initial release of something. And it all has to do with marketing, guys. It all has to do with marketing. So I love Ravelry. I really do. And I love having my patterns in Ravelry too. Like, I get it. But as a business, it's a decision I have to make for sure. Yes, is the frog on Etsy? I think it is. Again, I can't get on Etsy on my computer because it won't log me in. Let me see here. Is Leap the frog on Etsy, guys? I thought it was. I could be wrong. Let me scroll. Yep, he's on Etsy. Leap is on Etsy. Okay. Birdhouse. It's marleybirdhouse.com. Let's see here. Not a history, but unraveled is amazing. Not sure what that means. Lindsay, where do you find the time for all this? You amaze me with all the work you do and your excellent attitude. Lindsay, thank you for saying so. Because I feel like I'm falling apart half the time. So, and I feel like I'm not doing enough. And so it's really nice to hear you say that. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. I just went on a small little retreat with my husband, a mini retreat. We flew to Seattle on Thursday night and got there and then drove around the Olympic Forest, Olympic Peninsula, Friday and Saturday. And then we flew home on Sunday. We had a nice time at a cabin right next to the ocean. And it was just beautiful. It was really nice just to get away because I do work so hard. And it's just nice to get away a little bit. Let's see here. Brad's mom, I would love a virtual craft night. Linda, I think that's what we need to do. Lonnie says, how is Josiah doing with college kicking off? Lonnie, Josiah is doing great. He's doing awesome. I just talked to him tonight. He is in his dorm. It's not a dorm, guys. It's an apartment. Like, there are 4 rooms, and then there's a main living room and a kitchen. There's 2 bathrooms. Like, it's an apartment. He lives there with 4 other of his teammates. He likes them a lot. He's enjoying getting into the lifting. Like, they're doing a lot of lifting right now. They haven't thrown, but him and his teammates have gone out and thrown, and he's getting more used to the heavier implement. Caden has already had him over for dinner a couple nights because Caden goes to school at the same school. So that's really nice. So he's doing great. He's doing great. Yes, the frog is, but the unicorn is not. We don't have the unicorn up there yet. I have the yarn to make a video for the unicorn, and I have not had a second to breathe and make that video for the unicorn because it will take at least 2 to 3 days for me to make it. So I didn't want to put a video up yet without I didn't want to put the pattern in Etsy yet without the video support. So that's why that's not out there. That's my thinking around that. If I had a band, I'd call it Twisted Stitches. That's a really good idea. Maybe that'd be the good name for the podcast. Like Twisted Stitches Knit Night or something. I don't know. I found out that you can use the leftover yarn from Sparkle to make. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I have a friend who did that. Let's see here. Unraveled is a book by Peggy Ornstein. Not necessarily a history of knitting, but an amazing book. All right. I'll have to check that out. Crystal, thank you for saying so. It was actually very hard. There was one point on Saturday morning I was sitting in the chair just listening to the ocean, and I was knitting, and my husband was listening to a masterclass course, and I'm listening to it with him, and it caused so much anxiety and this need to feel like you got to go do something. You got to go work right now. You're missing out. You're doing it. And I told John, because we had the cabin until 11. So this was like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, because the time difference, I was up. And so we were out there, and I'm like, we should go go do it. And so he's like freaking out. What do you mean we should go? We have the cabin until 11. Why aren't we sitting down? And I'm like, I don't know. I have all this anxiety. Like, I feel like we need to be doing something. So it's very, very difficult for me to just chill out. So he goes, why don't you just sit there for a little bit? Let's take our medicine. Let's drink our coffee and just sit here. You keep knitting and we'll see how we feel like in about 20, 30 minutes. And I calmed down a little bit and we were able to sit there and, hang out for a while, and we didn't leave until 11 after that. But it's very difficult to sit down and have downtime. It's very hard. Megan says, I was just in the Pacific Northwest last week. Your story about the smell of your grandma was a good wink. It was a good wink you needed. And made me cry. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. She's, who knew? I didn't know she used Pond's. She had to have, because the minute I put it on my face, I was like, what is that? Like, grandma? It was crazy. It was really crazy. Really crazy. Hello there, my friend. How are you? It has been a while. It has been a while. I was just saying, I'm thinking about bringing back my podcast. So we'll see how that goes, my friend. Okay, let's see here. Suzette popping over here from Michael's sock video. Just subscribe. Thank you, Marley. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Let's see here. Just sitting here crocheting, loving the chatter and the social scene. Well, that makes me feel good, because maybe that's what the whole podcast will be. It's just a stitch night with us together, and I could talk about new yarns. Like, I just got a whole box of all the new fall yarns from Yarnspirations. I think I'm going to do a live event on the Yarnspirations YouTube channel in the next week or so. So I could show you like a bunch of new yarns from them, from Hirschner's, from maybe I could get in touch with some other companies. I mean, there's lots of things we could do. So that would be a lot of fun. Oh, see? I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, if nobody has any other questions about the Knitalong, just so you know, to the hold on, there's another one here. I learned so much from the Yarn Thing podcast back in the day. I always talk about it when people ask me about my journey. Oh, that makes me feel so good. Okay, so the homework, y'all. If you're working on the I just forgot the name of my own piece, Bellini. If you're working on the Bellini, so you made the back up to the neckline, you're going to make the front up to this neckline. Okay, the front up to this neckline. If you get a chance to put it down and continue working on that ribbing, remember I told you to work on that ribbing, just kind of keep going along with it. Keep doing that. Keep working on that ribbing. Because on Friday, we're going to talk about the shaping of the neckline. Now, I am going to tell you with the Bellini, if you're following along with the free pattern, we do have it written out for the shaping, right? It's all written out. But if you have the paid for pattern, which now it's 50% off on Etsy if you want to go get it. If you have the paid for, it includes charts. And to me, the chart just for the neck shaping, you guys who have it already can probably attest to this. The chart just for the neck shaping is so worth it, because you can literally see what stitch goes where and how you're going to shape the pieces versus just seeing the words. So to me, it's 100% worth it. Go check it out. You can get it for 50% off. Sandra, your homework for the Sandra was to finish your sleeves. Okay, so you made the back and the front up to the armhole. Now you're adding the sleeves, and you're going to add the sleeves, and you work several rows of the sleeves, and then we're going to have the neck shaping that we will be working on for this as well. So you're getting so close on both of these. Because on the Bellini, your homework this week will be the neck shaping, and we're going to start talking about the sleeves. So you're going to have a lot to work on. But with the Sandra, you kind of have, like, if you aren't all the way done with the sleeves, you have a little bit of wiggle room, because you're going to finish the whole body itself. And then the following week, we're going to work on seaming it up and then finishing that collar. So you're nearly done. Like, it's amazing how fast this goes, but you're going to love it. But these two, because of tonight's impromptu discount, are 50% off in my Etsy store if you want to go get them. And then, like we were talking about with this, if you love this and all the other patterns inside of By Crafty Stitch Night, just get By Crafty Stitch Night. You're gonna love it. It's seriously one of my best collections I've ever put together. It's really great. It's really great. Okay, let's see here. I buy Ravelry and the Birdhouse because I can find my patterns and they're stored there. I totally hear you. I totally hear you. You know what the best thing to do? If you buy them on Etsy, so I buy a lot of things on Etsy, and I have a file on my computer and a file on my phone, like a file. So when I download the stuff, I can put it in that file. It's called the Etsy file, and I can find my stuff in there as I need to. And then when it's on Ravelry, so if I buy it on Etsy, I'll put it in my Ravelry library, and I'll like make a note to myself of where it's located, so that way I can find it. Hey Marley, your old teammate Wolf Vintage Watches. Josh Wolf? Josh Wolf, is that you? If that's Josh Wolf, y'all, I went to high school with him. I had the biggest crush on him. He was a year younger than me, and I don't think he knew. Josh Wolf, if that's you, hello. It's nice to see you. And thanks for saying I'm the best. Okay, let's see here. Craig, okay, going to get it now and make it for Craig. I'm telling you, Ashley would look so good in it. She would look so good in it. If you need to go buy yarn, we can go to the yarn shop. We'll go to the Carmel yarn shop and buy some yarn. They've got some great choices. Or the yarn shop in Zionsville is really nice. Like there's some good, you want to get good yarn. I think you want to get good yarn. You would love it. I think Ashley would really like it. She's welcome to try mine on, but mine's going to be too big for her. She's smaller than I am, but she's welcome to try it on if she wants. This is the one-time Knitters Finish before crocheters. Dana, for real. For real. Barry, I own both. Go for the Birdhouse if you can. Yes, you can. Julia, let's see here. Team Turtle here. I just got one set of repeats done on my Bellini, but slow and steady gets me a win. Hey, it's not a race. You got this, my friend. Oh my gosh, guys, it is Josh Wolf. Oh, that's so, Josh, it's great. How the hell are you, man? It's so good to hear from you. How random. All right, nice to see you. Let's see here. Okay. I would if it was more crochet heavy, unique. I get that. But because the books were knitting in the city, that's why we did more knitting patterns. I saved the Etsy patterns in my Google Drive. Same. Please hit the thumbs up. Please do. Smash that like button, you guys. Oh, Josh says he's blushing. It's true, Josh. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember talking on the phone with me? Like we would talk about Shane Cook because I had the biggest crush on Shane. And you were like so nice. You told me, you were like, when you go to college, all the boys are going to like you. And I was like, no, they aren't. Anyways, I thought you were fabulous. That's so cute. I love it. Craig, I can't go tomorrow, but I could go like Thursday or Friday. Let me know. Everybody. Oh, that's so funny. Let's see. Marley, the supplier of my habit. That's right. I sure am. Tabitha, if the podcast comes back, wine should always be included. Yeah. Wine and old high school flames, right? Oh, it's cute. Okay. Crafts by Nick. You're so generous. I've just been on Etsy spending spree in your shop. Thank you. Left some stuff in my favorites to buy later. Fantastic. Now I have another excuse. Well, that means a lot to me. Make sure you leave positive reviews because apparently those are very important on Ravelry, or not on Ravelry, but on Etsy. The whole review process on Etsy is insane. Like I had no idea, but they're very, very important. Could have been Marley's Wolf 10. That's instead of Marley Bird. That's funny. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this moment of flashback for Marley. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, Josh, you're still here. Josh can attest the fact of what I looked like in high school. Josh, I was showing them how I had so much hair in high school. And I was like, you'll never believe how much hair I have. Oh my gosh, I'll show you guys again. If you guys missed it, he could be like, yeah, that was her. That's what she really did. I wore my hair curly all the time, you guys. All right, so that's me in the red, and that's my best friend Tara. So let me look. That's me in high school. Somebody is favoriting a pattern. That's me in high school. That's so funny. Hey Teresa, thanks for favoriting my pattern. That's so funny. Okay. Marley, my keyboard and I are not getting along this evening. Oh, you guys are great. You guys are fantastic. It's been so great spending some time with you. I'm going to go upstairs and knit for a little while and just kind of chill out. I'm going to finish my pumpkin that I made. Where did I do that? There it is. I'm going to film myself. I was going to hot glue some, heck yeah, Josh says, I was going to hot glue a cinnamon stick right here and then put some twine on it. So that's going to be looks like a psychedelic like pumpkin, but it's going to be fun. Anyways, so yeah, that was me. That was me in high school, guys. I used to have lots of hair. I do not have that much hair anymore. But that was me. All right. Well, that's it, y'all. That's it. I'm out of here. Mindy, you're cracking me up. You're cracking me up here. All right, I really am going to leave. Okay, bye. I'll see you guys Friday.